Halo Combat Evolved is my second favorite game of all time, right behind Half-Life 2. I first played this game in 2006, back when buying a game actually meant having to go to a shop instead of just pressing a few buttons and having the game magically show up in your virtual video game library. Buying physical copies of games back then was not really an option for me because I was still a child. Matter of fact, I did not even know what a video game was until my father bought me a PC. After getting me a PC, he was in a pickle, let's say. The PC was so expensive that buying games for it was not even an option anymore. And as you can imagine, he did exactly what most people do when they are out of money but still want to play video games. He started looking for some other methods to get the game. This might shock you, but pirating the game from the internet was not an option because we had no internet. So my father ended up calling a friend who ended up buying two games for us. These games were Half-Life 2 and Halo Combat Evolved. Out of these two games, my favorite at the time was Halo Combat Evolved. Now you're probably wondering why Half-Life 2 was not my favorite. Well, to put it simple, it's because Kid NoClick actually got stuck at this puzzle for about 5 years. Yeah. Also, talk about luck. Out of all of the games in the world that my father's friend could have gotten us, he chose two of the best games of all time. This was either extreme luck or maybe, just maybe, that man actually had a really good taste in video games. For the purpose of not making this video look like it was recorded in 2006, please note that the footage you are seeing was recorded on the Master Chief Collection version of Halo Combat Evolved, and not the version that I used to play on back in the day, which was the Xbox PC port. To me, that version is way better than the MCC one, but I am very aware that the MCC version is probably way better to play through, but you know, nostalgia is a drug, and yeah. To show you what I'm talking about, just look at this intro. And this iconic main menu. These things are not present in the MCC version of the game, and yeah, I kind of miss them. This is what a main menu for a game like this should be like. Mysterious and iconic. It does not get better than this. Let's talk about what is perhaps the most embarrassing moment of my life. The difficulty levels. The legendary difficulty icon looked so terrifying that I did not even have the balls to touch it for my first 15 playthroughs of the game. For the first couple of years, Kid NoClick only played on the easiest difficulty because he was too scared of an icon. So let's talk about the game, and let's start from the beginning. The opening cutscene is probably one of my favorite cutscenes of all time. It's literally what an opening cutscene should be. It introduces the Pillar of Autumn, Captain Keyes, Cortana, the Marines, the vehicles you will be able to use later in the game, Sergeant Johnson, and of course the big man, Master Chief. It also sets up plot points, challenges, and even hints at future missions. There is not one single wasted line of dialogue. You wake up in this room and before even getting enough time to learn the controls, the Pillar of Autumn gets attacked by the Covenant, which is the main enemy faction of this game. And obviously the best thing to do when getting attacked is to start running away like a little bitch until you get to the captain and finally get some kind of weapon, which happens to be an unloaded magnum in the middle of a war. I cannot talk about this section without mentioning killing Captain Keyes using the Magnum and then wasting hours trying to kill the Marines as well, only to find out that they have infinite HP. So instead of getting a game over screen for killing an important character, the game just says,
"Prepare for unforeseen consequences."
Playing this back in 2001 was probably mind-blowing. The fact that this was even a thing that you could do is insane, considering the fact that when placed in a situation like this, most modern games would rather give the player a game over screen rather than let them suffer the consequences of their actions. Because after all, programming a game over screen is a way easier and faster solution to this problem. And everyone is lazy nowadays, so that's perfect. But this game is special because it was not made by lazy people, it was made by people who actually enjoyed making and playing video games, meaning that details like this will be extremely common throughout the game. This kind of ruined first-person shooters for me, to be honest. It became the bare minimum that a game had to do in order to impress me. The bar was set so high that it took me years to find other games that I could enjoy. Also, before continuing, please do not confuse this video with a review because it's more of a love letter than just a simple review. If you are expecting to hear criticism, well, there's not gonna be much of it because there's not much to criticize, at least in my opinion. This is as good as it gets. This part stuck with me for years. Two crewmen get ambushed by the Covenant. Both of them die in one hit. However, if you manage to kill all of the Covenant before they can kill the crewmen, they can actually be saved. Saving them does absolutely nothing, but it's possible to do it. The truth is, letting them live was not an option back in the day. I only saved them so I could be the one to kill them. Yeah, I was a monster. Something that I have to say about this level is that it really fools you into thinking that this is just a regular linear first-person shooter game, only for Master Chief to get into a lifeboat at the end of the level, land on a big halo and wake up to this. In a matter of minutes, the game goes from "I am a big machine with big weapons killing ugly enemies" to "Holy crap, what the hell is this big place? Mom, pick me up, I am scared." Before I talk about the second level, let me take a moment to talk about the cutscenes. These days, games have cutscenes just for the sake of having cutscenes. They usually don't explain much and are there just as an excuse to have something between the levels. But the different thing about these cutscenes is that they continue the story while showing you how you actually got to the next level, instead of just throwing you in there and being like, well, now you're here. Why? Because that's what the developers want. Speaking of the story, you cannot talk about it without talking about the characters. The people who voice acted actually acted instead of just reading lines from a script. There is actual emotion in their voice. Combine this with the insane visuals, at least for 2001, and a very action-packed cutscene, and you get this masterpiece.
What is that thing, Lieutenant?
Hell if I know, but we're landing on it.
Your Honor, she's been hit!
I knew it. The Autumn's accelerating. Keys is going in manual.
Heads up, everyone, this is it. We're entering the ring's atmosphere in 5.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
If I still had fingers, they'd be crossed.
I just realized this video was originally supposed to be like 15 minutes long, and I'm already 1,500 words into the script, and we are only at level 2. This is gonna be a long one. Master Chief wakes up and it turns out everyone is dead. It's never explained how they died, but it's probably safe to assume that this happened.
Sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
The player is instantly faced with a dilemma. There is a dropship coming. Do you run and hide or do you stand and fight? Me personally, I would always choose the first option just because it was more fun. I love the fact that if the dropship does not spot you, the grunts that get dropped off actually go to sleep and wait there in case anybody else shows up. The attention to detail is pretty insane. Okay, so I feel like this level gets way too much praise. Yes, it's a great level, but I don't think it's the best out of all of them. To put it in a nutshell, this level is just save some marines, drive a warthog, and kill aliens. And that's exactly what an uneducated person would say. This level is peak gaming and I don't care what anybody has to say. Let me show you what's great about Halo. Do you see this dropship here? What would happen if you were to accidentally get into it before it flew away? Who knows, maybe there's a secret level waiting just around the corner. And oh god. This is what makes Halo great. The fact that it's even possible to get into the dropship and fly away for a couple of seconds is insane. Other developers would have used an invisible wall to block this off, but not the Halo developers. They went, screw it, have as much freedom as you want, but also suffer some major consequences for doing stupid stuff. One thing I used to do all the time is always pick Sergeant Johnson as the gunner for my Warthog. If any other Marine got into the passenger seat, they would get killed by an evil entity called my weapon. Why? Because Sergeant Johnson is way cooler. Duh. Something else that needs a lot of praise is the atmosphere of the game. The Halo is supposed to be mysterious. You never know who or what is waiting for you behind the next corner, and I feel like the awesome level design, the colors used, the ginormous open world maps, and of course the soundtrack composed by Marty O'Donnell give you a feeling that someone or something is out there, always watching you. Even though you are a big, badass human being, it still feels like something is missing. It feels like there is a bigger threat out there, like, why do these big structures exist? Why is everything so empty? And who even lived here before the Covenant and the humans got to the Halo? And why does the Halo even exist? What is its purpose? Does it have a purpose? To make it even better, most of these questions are answered by the end of the game. Yes, there is a bigger threat out there, and yes, you will shit your pants multiple times after finding out what it is. But more to that later. There is a quote that perfectly describes this level. I think Halo is a pretty cool guy. Kill aliens and doesn't afraid of anything. After rescuing the first wave of Marines, I used to indulge in some evil activities. The Marines riding with me would magically die. I wonder how that happened. No click, what kind of monster are you? Do not dare call me a monster. There is a good reason for this heresy. You see, the next Marine outpost, or whatever it's called, had better equipped allies, such as this Marine holding a sniper rifle and this other Marine, which is just a regular Marine but with a different outfit. This duo is unstoppable. The Covenant never stood a chance against us, at least when playing on easy. Now get ready for another massive plot twist. After killing the evil aliens and saving the Marines, little NoClick would stop here and commit heresy yet again. There is a reason for this. You see, these Marines were no longer needed for the next area. Instead of rushing through this, killing everyone in sight using the unstoppable Marine combo, I had other plans. I wanted to be a sneaky little bastard and kill the enemies using the sniper rifle. Why? Who knows, but there was something special about just being able to take my time and kill them in a very sneaky way. I still do this, by the way, and I still don't understand why I do it, but it's fun. After killing everyone, the Pelican comes to pick you up. Instead of letting these Marines get on the Pelican, I used to kill all of them just because it felt really good. Okay, now we move on to the next level, which is also really good. This game really knows how to spice things up. We went from being in a bright and colorful open area to now being in a very dark and gritty place. This level, at least to me, is known as the sniper level. It starts off simple. You and some Marines are dropped off by a Pelican, and the goal is to find and rescue Captain Keyes from a Covenant ship. Sniping all of the enemies here without getting noticed is a lot of fun. I remember playing this on easy and still wanting to snipe them without getting noticed. I could have just rushed through the section and killed the enemies without any problem, but I wanted to be sneaky. The game, in a way, made me feel like I was actually there. It was making me duck my head in real life, just so the aliens cannot see me. That probably sounds weird, but it's the best way to describe how I felt. This is something that I wish was used more in the other Halo games. Having the ability to snipe a bunch of enemies without them being able to notice you is really fun. And this is another thing I love about this game. It allows you to do anything you want. You do not get punished for not playing a specific way. You don't get punished for not using a specific weapon. Would this level be a lot more difficult without the sniper rifle? Well, probably, but if you do not like it, you can just throw it away and replace it with a plasma pistol or a needler or anything you want really, and the level will still be fun to play through.
Hey, try aiming that weapon! Careful! Do I owe you money? Cut it out!
Moving on to this area here, I don't think I've ever fought any of these enemies. You see, even though I had no idea that speedruns were a thing, I was still accidentally doing speedrun tricks. I used to always grab this camo, sneak my way to the next section, completely bypass a big enemy encounter and melee everyone to death. After fighting about 5 waves of enemies coming from within the Covenant ship, the game decides it's time to spice things up once again and introduces a new enemy, the Hunter. Just when you start thinking that fighting the same enemies for 3 straight levels is starting to get repetitive, the game throws a new one at you and it's terrifying. Of course, right now I am aware of the fact that they have a weak point and if you shoot it, they die really fast. But back in the day, oh man, this was something else. I used to shoot them with everything I had and they would still not die. These guys were terrifying, especially when I tried playing on higher difficulties later on. You get on the Covenant ship and the rest of the level is pretty straightforward. Being on a Covenant ship is a good reason for the game to throw more difficult enemy encounters at the player, which makes it perfect for enemies such as the Invisible Sword Elites, Normal Invisible Elites and Golden Sword Elites to be introduced. It's also the perfect time to give the Covenant the high ground. In the first half of the level, it was you who had the high ground or some kind of other advantage over the enemies. And now it's the other way around. You've had your fun, now let's see if it's possible to beat them at your own game. Being in enemy territory also means that you will get ambushed a bunch of times, sometimes from multiple directions at the same time. Being curious of what other people thought about this level, I decided to look up a couple of reviews of this game. Some reviewers, who of course I won't name, actually called it difficult, repetitive and generic. First of all, if you cannot deal with some elites and some grunts, that can only be related to some kind of massive skill issue. Second of all, generic? You are on an alien ship. What did you expect to see? Mona Lisa? Of course everything is purple. It's a Covenant ship. Their whole thing is that they really like purple. Anyways, moving on, just when you think things cannot get any more difficult, Golden Sword Elites show up. These guys are extremely scary. If I had to compare them with anything, it would probably be the Marauder from Doom Eternal. Make one small mistake and you die. Of course, knowing their map placement definitely helps dealing with most of them, but imagine how a new player would react to a Golden Elite just swinging at them from across the room. Matter of fact, here is how a Golden Elite versus a new player situation usually goes.
Oh dear. Well, it doesn't seem like in a melee versus melee situation he's going to lose. No. Well. Oh god!
This is also the level that finally tells us what Halo is. It's more than just a beautiful landscape, it's a weapon. A weapon for what? Well, we don't know yet, but the game is clearly planting seeds for something. It would be heresy to talk about this level and not mention the ending cutscene. Captain Keyes gets in a Covenant dropship, kills some hunters like an absolute badass and flies away. What a madman, Lamau! Then we have the next level, the Silent Cartographer, one of the most iconic video game levels of all time. You get thrown right into battle. The main goal is to find some kind of secret control room. As a kid, I never understood why the previous level ended with us flying in a Covenant dropship, only to ride a pelican at the beginning of this level. Also, where the hell did Captain Keyes go? Well, it turns out Master Chief and Captain Keyes split up because Keyes went looking for some kind of weapons cache. Not sticking with Master Chief would turn out to be his downfall, but more to that later. I think this would also be the perfect time to talk about the impeccable gameplay of this game. Even on the easiest difficulty, the enemies still dodge your bullets, your grenades and your melee. Speaking of the melee, they also melee the shit out of you, throw grenades, shoot overcharged plasma shots, hide behind cover, only attack when they know you are at a disadvantage and even group in pairs. Their AI is so good it still holds up to this day, so imagine how insane this must have been back in 2001. Here is what a Bungie developer had to say about the gameplay. In Halo 1 there was maybe 30 seconds of fun that happened over and over and over and over again. And so, if you can get 30 seconds of fun, you can pretty much stretch that out to be an entire game. Why don't more game developers do this? It's so easy, it's stupid. Speaking of stupid, let's talk about how stupid I was when I was a child. There used to be a video of someone playing this level, and I remember them driving into the water and getting teleported to some kind of secret level. And of course, I tried doing the exact same thing, but it would just not work. I used to do this almost every single time I got to this level. It would just be me wasting like 30 minutes of my unlimited free time trying to find a way to get through the invisible wall, only to fail every single time. It turns out there is no secret level. There never was a secret level, because that was a mod. Of course, I did not know that back then, meaning that my entire childhood was spent thinking that there was a secret in the water that would send me back to the previous level. Yeah. Let's talk about the actual level. The best way to describe it is this. Big Master Chief is on a big island and can go anywhere. Good luck. That's right, this is another semi-open world level. Don't want to complete this level the normal way? Abandon your marine friends and go the complete opposite way. Don't care about some encounters? Just drive past the enemies. Don't want to get out of the warthog? No worries, spend like 5 minutes trying to get it past this tree and complete this section of the game the exact opposite way the developers intended. There are no invisible walls anywhere on this map. Yeah, the grunts might try killing you with grenades, but come on, you don't really care about that. Go ahead and completely cheese the level by jumping off here and skipping a bunch of enemy encounters. Don't want to complete this section the normal way? No worries. Find this hidden hole in the wall and surprise your enemies. The game rewards you for exploring, and again, this is insane considering the fact that this was released in 2001. Now, please do not think that this level is all fun and games. Remember the creepy feeling from the second level? It might have been gone for a while, but now it's back, and again, similar questions come to mind. Who built this? Why did they build it? And what happened to those who built it? This was clearly not built by the Covenant. They just got here. It's very clear that something is wrong here. Everything is way too quiet. And it really feels like the quietness is getting louder and louder the deeper you go into the island. The second half of the level is also really good. We know that Halo is a weapon. What's left to do is get to the control room in order to find out how to use it or who to use it against. We then find out that the location of the control room is actually under the island. After fighting through a bunch of tough enemies, you get back to the surface and fly the hell away. Cortana opens up a big hole in the ground and we get this awesome cutscene, which connects to the opening cutscene of the next level. But before I show you that, let me actually tell you where we are at in terms of the story. When you're like 30% through the level, it's confirmed that Captain Keyes is still looking for the weapons cache.
Understood. We're still en route to the objective. I may be out of contact when we get there.
Speaking of that, at first this seems like a good idea to keep Captain Keyes away from the player, in order to not overexpose him and in order to have a feel-good moment when you finally meet him again later in the game. And well, I wish this was the case, but it's not. Now get ready to witness what might just be the absolute worst way to play through Assault on the Control Room, which by the way is the name of the next level. You get dropped off and the goal remains the exact same: find the control room. Sounds pretty easy, right? Well, let's say that Kid NoClick accidentally found a game-breaking bug while messing around. When getting dropped off, pressing E on the Pelican makes you get in again. Why is this bad? Because this is clearly not what you are meant to do. The Pelican should not be able to fly away with you inside of it. So obviously the camera starts shaking and you get to this weird foggy place. You can tell that this area was not made to be playable. The Pelican stops and congratulations, there is no way to get out of here. Weirdly enough, there are some interesting things to see here, like 3 plasma pistols and 2 dead grunts. But that's it. There is literally nothing else here. Just you, a pelican, and the void. Going back to the normal way of playing the level, we get to this bridge and find out the Halo ring has a weather system. Now isn't that just weird? It's like something or someone used to live here. And again, what the hell happened to them? Where are they? I cannot talk about this level and not mention how good the stealth is. Meleeing as many enemies as possible without getting noticed is extremely fun. This applies for many sections throughout the level. Kid NoClick would spend about 15 minutes here just trying to melee everyone without getting noticed. This level also features more big open areas, which by the way are actually extremely linear. On the way to the control room, you will encounter new Covenant vehicles such as the Ghost, the Banshee and the Wraith. How to approach this level is completely up to the player. Drive a Warthog if you want, or a Ghost, or just go on foot, or get into a tank and start annihilating everyone. Just like the Silent Cartographer level, there is no correct way to play this level. Me personally, I would always choose the tank. It's also pretty awesome to have Marines on your tank. Speaking of the Marines, not taking them with you will usually result in them stealing some enemy ghosts and continue to follow you. Now let me tell you how Kid NoClick would use to play through this particular section of the game so you can get an idea of how insane I was. I would avoid killing any enemies, run away from them, continue my adventure by jumping off a cliff, somehow survive, get these Marines, take them all the way back to the enemies that I did not kill earlier and then watch them fight each other. I was doing Garry's Mod NPC battles in Halo in like 2006. But wait, it gets even worse. To continue the level, I would grab this camo, kill the invisible elite, kill this other elite, steal his ghost, completely skip a huge enemy encounter, drive my ghost inside of this building, spend minutes trying to fit the ghost through tight spaces, get to the elevator and then watch it just fall into the void. I was absolutely insane. And it does not stop there. Then there is this double bridge section where you are supposed to cross both of these bridges one by one in order to progress. Yeah, well, it turns out I had some kind of bridge phobia because I would always just jump on this glass and cheese my way to the end of the second bridge section, completely bypassing yet another area. And it does not even end there. I would get here, kill the invisible elites, grab the camo, skip this hunter encounter, jump over these enemies, grab this Banshee and completely skip yet another big section of the game. And what do you know, we are already at the control room. And now we can finally talk about what is perhaps one of the most iconic video game levels in the history of gaming. But to get there, we must first talk about this cutscene. Master Chief puts Cortana in the control of the control room to find out what Halo is and what kind of weapon it is.
So, what sort of weapon is it?
What are you talking about?
Let's stay focused. Halo, how do we use it against the Covenant?
This ring isn't a cudgel, you barbarian. It's something else. Something much more important. The Covenant were right. This ring... it's Forerunner. Give me a second to access. Yes, the Forerunner built this place, what they called a fortress world, in order to... Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs.
Slow down. You're losing me.
The Covenant found something. Buried in this ring. Something horrible. And now, they're afraid.
Something buried? Where?
The captain. We've got to stop the captain.
Keys? What
The
do we...
weapons cache he's looking for. It's not really... We can't let him get inside.
I don't understand.
There's no time. Get out of here, find keys, stop him. Before it's too late!
The last transmission from the captain's dropship was from this area. That was over 12 hours ago.
Dropship Victor 9. Still our bottom. Assistant. We are under attack by some new kind of hostile that isn't Covenant. Captain Keyes has been captured by hostiles.
Okay, something is clearly wrong. From Cortana screaming at us to go find Captain Keyes, to getting to this creepy swamp and hearing that the last transmission from Captain Keyes was 12 hours ago, and then hearing that he was actually captured by something that is not the Covenant, yeah, I think we have to find out what's going on. There is a crashed Covenant dropship here, so logically you would think that Captain Keyes' squad did this. You move on only to notice some things in the distance. It's probably the Forerunners that Cortana mentioned earlier, or maybe some type of Covenant or something, I don't know. Probably nothing to be concerned about. Not even a few seconds later, you see a bunch of grunts and jackals running out of a building. Assault rifles are being fired, so it's pretty safe to assume that this is Captain Keyes' squad, right? Well, actually no, because Captain Keyes was captured like 12 hours ago, which means that his whole squad was probably captured as well. So who the hell could this be? Time to follow the bullets. This elevator just happens to come back up, meaning that it was just used. Alright, let's see where this goes. More Covenant? What the hell were they even doing? Also, why are there no elites here? 2 rooms later, these jackals are just guarding a random door, not even paying enough attention to see you standing right behind them. Why would the Covenant protect the opposite way they are supposed to protect? Are they not supposed to protect the entrance? Why was there no one waiting for you at the entrance? And who the hell caused this alien crime scene? We know Captain Keyes can be pretty brutal at times, but man, I did not know he was this brutal. Then there's the next room. No one is here. You are already pretty deep into the facility, might as well continue exploring it. Let's see what's going on.
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things! I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me! Ah! Ah! Don't touch me, you freaks! I won't be like you, I'll die first! Find your own hiding place, the monsters are everywhere! Play dead! That's what I did! Play dead! They took the live ones. Oh god, I can still hear them. Monsters! Ah! 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 Just leave me alone! Sarge, Mendoza, Vicente. Oh God, the things took them away. They went away. They're gone! Get it? Gone! They won't get me! Oh God, I don't want to be like them, please. Please no, no.
That creepy feeling that I was talking about during the previous levels is back yet again. There is no Cortana voice in your head. She is still at the control center. There is no music, there's nothing. It's just you by yourself, with no enemies to fight. The best thing to assume is that maybe this part of the facility is abandoned and the Covenant just have not been able to get here yet, but then again they have been here for at least like 12 hours, so something is not really adding up. And then we have this door right here. Something seems to have broken out of this room. This light is flashing red, meaning that something bad happened, but there's nothing here. What is going on?
Why do we always have to listen to this old stuff, Sarge?
Watch your mouth, son. This stuff is your history.
Which is weird, right? I mean, look at it. Something scrambled the insides.
What do we have, Sergeant? Looks like a Covenant patrol. Badass elite units. All KIA.
Real pretty. Friend of yours?
Nah, we just met.
Right, well, let's get this door open. What's going on, soldier?
He's got contact! Lots of them! But they're not Covenant! They're just tearing through us! What the... Oh, no!
Corporal! Do you copy? Over!
What is that?
Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
I don't... There! Mira! Hold still! Hold still! Ah! Oh, this is local!
Back here, Marine! That's an order!
Dang it!
You are fucked. What you just watched happened exactly in this room. There is blood everywhere, but the Marines are nowhere to be seen. All of a sudden, a big ambush starts. First, it's just these creepy small things. You see them and you think, what the hell is this? And then these big, greasy, disgusting things show up. This is the Flood. This is why the grunts and jackals were so terrified. This is why they were not guarding the entrance of the facility. They did not want to keep you out, they wanted to keep them in. The Flood was accidentally released and have been out of the facility for at least 12 hours. The only reason we did not see them is because they actually wanted us to come down here so they could kill us. We are clearly not dealing with your typical video game zombies here. Laying out a trap for Master Chief and carefully waiting for him requires some type of intelligence. This basically means that you should most likely start panicking right now. All of your friends and enemies were turned into these things. Nobody could have seen this coming. The flashy, happy-looking alien-killing video game is now a zombie horde horror game. This has to be one of the craziest switch-ups in the history of gaming, and it makes total sense. There are warning signs all over the first couple of levels, but nobody takes them seriously because this is only a happy alien-killing game after all. I mean, just look at the cover art. It's not scary, it's not mysterious, it's adventurous. It's action-packed. It's epic. It's like the game wants everyone to think that everything is alright before completely changing it up. This is exactly what the Flood did before ambushing Master Chief. The Flood is not shown in any promotional material, no trailer, no teaser, nothing. They come completely out of nowhere, and there is something special about watching new Halo fans meet them for the first time. Just look at this video for example, it has millions of views. About 10 years ago, my sister decided to give this game a try. We played co-op. It was just a very usual Halo CE co-op experience. Until we got to this level. The minute the Flood showed up, she left the game and never joined back. Okay, so what happens next? Master Chief will obviously not die in his first ever game. So how the hell does he get out of this? Well, by doing exactly what a 1,000-pound, 7-foot-tall, one-of-a-kind super soldier would do. Run! Don't touch me! I'm serious. It's confirmed in the books that Master Chief was absolutely terrified during this level. I think it's actually canon that he had to run away in order to survive, so of course we are going to do the exact same thing. Whew, the nightmare is finally over. Time to use this elevator and get back to the surface. Oh shit, it goes down. What even happened to the walls? Remember when I said the Flood is intelligent? That was not a lie. They can use their host body's brain and memories to actually learn how to use weapons, which means you are double fucked. The environmental storytelling in this level is pretty amazing. These boxes were stacked on top of each other in order to block the entrance. The humans and the Covenant tried working together against the Flood. There is blood literally everywhere. This is perfect. This is how you introduce a new enemy. When you finally end up getting back to the surface, it feels so rewarding. 10 Marines wait for you. Yes, 10 Marines, and most of them have shotguns, which means they must be OP, right? Well, no! If a Flood Spore touches them for a split second, it's over. Most of them end up dying by the time you reach the end of the level, but it is possible to actually save a couple of them. And you know what the worst thing is? I wanted to protect them. Yes, me, the kid who was willing to kill every single Marine in sight in the earlier levels of the game, now wanted to protect them from the Flood. Earlier in the level, I would even try protecting the Covenant. They still wanted to kill me, but I did not care. The Flood literally made me care for the well-being of my enemies. That's how scary they were.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark. Someone has released the Flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
Now it's time for the level that most consider to be one of the worst Halo levels of all time, the library. To put it short, what you are supposed to do in this level is fight through an army of Flood in order to get to the Index. What is the Index? Well, it's the thing that will stop the Flood. That's all we know. Now, I would lie if I said that this level is perfect, because it's far from that. However, I feel like it's hated for the wrong reasons. People call it repetitive, bland, and dreadful, not knowing that this is exactly what it's supposed to be. Notice the colors used: black, some dark purple, and yellow. It feels like life was just sucked out of this place. This is a really drastic change of scenery, especially after playing through the first couple of levels of the game. In my opinion, this is what a Flood level is supposed to feel like. It was made to be dreadful. After only showing you beautiful colors and landscapes for the first few levels, the game just takes it away. That creepy, odd feeling that I've been talking about since the middle of the second level has finally taken over. This dreadfulness was always present, you just ignored it because you kept thinking that Halo is only about roses and sunflowers. I'm not trying to get philosophical here because it's only a video game after all, but this is exactly what happens when you get too comfortable. Things are perfect for a while, and then everything starts hitting you in the face at the same time. People who don't like this level just do not like being uncomfortable. And well, it's understandable, but that's also a pretty big skill issue. Hating on this level seems forced in a way, to be honest. Is it repetitive? Yes, absolutely. But that's exactly what the Flood is as well. You kill 10 of them only for another 10 Flood to come out of nowhere and take their place. It's like it never ends. And this level perfectly adds to that. It's not like it's the same enemy encounters every single time either. Sometimes they have shotguns, sometimes they have needlers, sometimes they have rocket launchers. Oh yeah, zombies with rocket launchers. What could possibly go wrong? You get to fight them from a distance, from up close, you get locked in a room with them. Like, there's obviously a lot of variety here. One of my favorite things to do in this level is run away from them, bring them here, and then just watch the Sentinels, our new allies, absolutely obliterate them. We then have the ending cutscene, where Master Chief finally retrieves the Index from whatever this thing is. 343 Guilty Spark steals the Index from him because he can still be infected by the Flood. And well, this makes sense. The next level starts and... Deja vu, I just been in this place before. You are back in the control room, ready to activate Halo's defenses and get rid of the Flood for good.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood, it kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life.
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis. Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done? Last time you asked me, If it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Okay, let's talk about this. The only way to kill the Flood is to get rid of all of the life in the galaxy. To do that, all halos must be activated. Obviously, we do not want to activate the halos because we do not want to die. This means that there is no way to completely kill the Flood. And if the outbreak continues, everybody will die anyways. I think we are actually the bad guys in the story. The UNSC and the Covenant show up unannounced, accidentally release the Flood, start getting infected, and this poor little guy, aka 343 Guilty Spark, is just trying his best to contain it. According to some lore, this guy contained the Flood for about 100,000 years before we showed up. Imagine protecting something for about 100,000 years, only for someone to show up unannounced and just ruin everything in 2 days. Yes, we found the halo by complete accident and had no idea that something like this could happen, but that does not mean that it's not our fault. So obviously 343 Guilty Spark completely turns against us. Not wanting to die is still a pretty good argument against activating the halo, which means that the next step in our journey is to find a way to destroy the halo without activating it. How do we do that? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Remember the Pillar of Autumn from the first level of the game? Apparently, it can be used to trigger some kind of wildcat explosion or something, which can destroy the halo without activating it. All that's left to do is find the location of the Pillar of Autumn and then just blow it up. Sounds simple, however, it's not. You see, 343 Guilty Spark is still trying to activate the halo, and we cannot let that happen because we do not want to die. To save some time, our goal for this mission is to find 3 pulse generators and blow them up. The halo cannot be activated as long as they are destroyed, and this should keep 343 Guilty Spark busy for a couple of hours at least, and in that time we could just destroy the halo. This is also the level that finally brings back the Covenant. Let me tell you a funny story now. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned the fact that I did not really speak English that well back in the day. Why am I talking about this again? Well, because I have something new to say. Now that all of the enemies have finally been introduced, I think it's finally time to tell you what names I had for them. Here are some of the names just roughly translated to English. The grunts were called the dwarfs. The jackals were called the shieldy boys. The hunters were the fat asses. The Flood was the Claws, Master Chief was Halo, of course, that's a classic, and the best one, the elites were called the Dogs. I used to run around the house and say, "Mom, Dad, I love killing the dogs in Halo." Ah, these were the good old days. I'm still surprised they did not give me up for adoption. Now let's talk about the actual level, and well, honestly, it's not that great. It's basically assault on the control room during the night, but backwards. Oh, and the Flood is here now, of course. Did I mention that they have rocket launchers? After the last 2 levels, you would expect some kind of moment to breathe. But nope, you get thrown right into the middle of a war. It makes sense for the game to get more difficult as you progress. But this is way too much and way too long. My favorite thing to do in this level is, again, just watch the NPCs fight each other. This bridge section has to be one of the most iconic moments in the game, at least for me. The Covenant gets absolutely destroyed, and that's the only compliment I can give this level. It really feels like filler in a way. Normally I would not have a problem with it, but man, we just played through this level 3 levels ago. You can obviously tell they ran out of money and had to reuse assets. Also, was this level even tested? Why is this popcorn just standing here? As a kid, I absolutely loved playing through this, but now, yeah, let's say my opinion has kind of changed. The ending cutscene is also pretty stupid. Apparently Cortana magically found a way to teleport Master Chief using a teleportation grid or something. Look, I get it, they needed a way to skip the Silent Cartographer, but come on, if she can teleport Master Chief wherever she wants, why the hell did she not teleport him straight to the pulse generators? Anyways, this is just kind of stupid, let's move on. The next level, however, feels like a return to form. We are finally continuing the story of trying to find and rescue Captain Keyes. Master Chief gets teleported upside down, falls on his head and dies. We are back on the Covenant ship. Captain Keyes was captured by the Flood and is somehow still sending us messages.
Chief, don't be a fool. Leave me.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. The design of this level is about 10 times better than the previous level. Yes, you are in a Covenant ship again, but this time it's absolutely overrun by the Flood. Lights are flickering, there is this green goo everywhere. This is how the previous level should have been. Show the player that the Flood being here actually has a negative effect on the world. Some areas are completely new, for example the entire outdoors area, which by the way is one of the best areas in the entire game, at least in my opinion. It's just so fun to play through. You get to watch more NPCs fight each other, then there's this really cool section in the dark followed by even more NPC fights, and man, I used to just stand here and watch them fight for minutes. Just look at how much blood there is on the ground. The Covenant is trying really hard to keep the Flood off their ship, and this is none of your business. Just watch them fight each other and then kill whoever wins. At this part, I would never even have to do anything. Just watch them kill each other and then slowly get into the gravity lift. Going back inside, you can definitely tell that the Covenant is not winning this war. All of them are dead. This place was one of my favorites to explore. The Covenant tried putting up a barricade and, well, it did not really end up too well for them. Now, let me tell you another crazy thing I like to do. I like to save the grunts from the Flood. That's right, I no longer kill them, I just save them. Am I the only one who feels bad for these guys? Captain Keyes keeps telling us to leave, but we don't listen.
He's delirious. In pain. We have to find him.
Speaking of him, this is what he has been doing in the meantime.
I forgot something. What did I... My name. I forgot. Oh, Keyes, Jacob, Captain. Service number 01928-19912-JK. Covenant captured me, didn't they? Yeah, I can't remember. Oh God, you don't want Earth, you want everything. Get out of my head! 1928-19912-JK. No more what you were. Keyes, Jacob, Captain, service number 01928-19912-JK. You will not have me. We already do.
The captain! His vitals are fading. Please, Chief, hurry! No human life signs detected. The captain, he's one of them. We can't let the Flood get off this ring. You know what he'd expect. What he'd want us to do. It's done. I have the code. We should go.
This has to be the worst, but also most badass way to die. The captain who we rescued from the same ship about 5 levels ago is now back on the ship, and he is dead. Not only does he go out like an absolute badass, but now we have a reason to hate the Flood even more. Also, look at this thing. You can clearly see that it's made of multiple bodies. This is disturbing and shows exactly what kind of disgusting things the Flood is capable of. Just when you think that things cannot get any worse, the game introduces the Special Operation Covenant Forces. The Grunts have way more HP and can now carry fuel rod cannons. The Elites, on the other hand, are even more OP than the Golden Elites and can now throw grenades. And it actually makes sense for them to be introduced here. The Covenant obviously failed at keeping the Flood off their ship, so they had to send in their last resort. Now that Captain Keyes is dead, our next goal is to find the Pillar of Autumn and then cause a Dark Fusion Wildcat something explosion to blow it up and destroy Halo. Master Chief casually steals a Banshee from the Covenant and flies away. And then we have the last level of the game, the Maw. This, in my opinion, is also a really great level. It starts with a cutscene showing us what's left of the Pillar of Autumn. It has definitely seen better days. Master Chief crashes his Banshee for the memes, and now we are back where we started. This feels like that moment in Half-Life 2 when you finally get back to City 17 and notice that what used to be a normal city is now completely destroyed because of you. Now, of course, this is not your fault, but you know, the Pillar of Autumn was most likely followed because you were in it, so it's kind of your fault. And again, people like to call this level repetitive, and well, I don't think it is. We have not played through this level in a very long time. Also, the way we go, the enemy encounters, and even some visuals are completely different. It does not feel like the first level at all.
I leave home for a few days and look what happens. This won't take long. There. That should give us enough time to make it to a lifeboat and put some distance between ourselves and Halo before the detonation.
I'm afraid that's out of the question, really.
Oh, hell.
Ridiculous! That you would imbue a warship's AI with such a wealth of knowledge? Weren't you worried it might be captured or destroyed?
He's in my data arrays, a local tap. He stopped the self-destruct sequence.
Why do you continue to fight us, Reclaimer? You cannot win! Give us the construct, and I will endeavor to make your death relatively painless and...
At least I still have control over the comm channels.
Yeah, so 343 Guilty Spark is back and still wants the index to activate Halo. So of course, he stops the self-destruct sequence, which means Master Chief will have to use some unconventional methods to destroy the ship. The next goal is to find the engine room and blow it up. There are some interesting enemy encounters on the way, like these Flood coming out of an armory. The creepiest thing in this level has to be the invisible Flood. Like, holy crap, they can be even scarier? How is that even possible? Getting to the engine room, things are pretty straightforward. The goal is to shoot rockets or throw grenades into these things and then they explode. I never had a problem with this section. Then we have the final part of the game, which is absolutely amazing.
Cortana to Echo 419. Come in, Echo 419. Roger, Cortana. I'm reading 555. The Pillar of Autumn's engines are going critical, Fohammer. Request immediate extraction. Approach the crash site and be ready to pick us up at External Access Junction 4C as soon as you get my signal. Affirmative. Echo 419 going on station. Echo 419 to Cortana. Things are getting noisy down there. Everything okay? Negative. We have a Wildcat destabilization of the ship's fusion core. The engines must have sustained more damage than we thought.
A Warthog run is literally the last thing you would expect to get in this level. And yet, here we are. We have 6 minutes to get to a bridge and get rescued by Echo 419. Also, did you know that there's a hidden Warthog here? We get to the bridge, we wait for Echo 419, and, well...
Cortana to Echo 419. 2 Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade. I'm hit. Mayday. Airport buses are shot to hell. I can't hold her. I can't hold her.
After experiencing a sad death not even one level ago, you get another one. Echo 419 gets ambushed by Banshees and dies. And this reminds me of another story. Remember during the Silent Cartographer how I said that a YouTube video of a Halo CE mod fooled me into thinking that there's a secret level? Well, it happened again here. I watched a video and I thought that it's possible to save Echo 419. And I tried doing it over and over again and it would never work. And guess what? I found the exact video that fooled me.
What the hell are you doing? do best.
I swear I tried doing this at least 100 times and it never worked and I was so disappointed. And then we have the ending. Master Chief has to find another way to get away. Luckily there is one long sword about 1 kilometer away. What is a long sword? Well, we will find out extremely soon. We get there, Master Chief races the flood, gets into the long sword like an absolute madman, flies it into space, and then we get one of the most iconic video game cutscenes of all time.
Did anyone else make it?
Scanning. Just dust and echoes.
Dustin Echoes is alive? We need to go back! And so, Halo ends. Master Chief survived, but at what cost? This to me always felt like a bad ending in the best way possible. You did not win anything, almost everyone died, except Dustin Echoes, who is still alive and we have to go back for him right now. Talking about this game and not mentioning the multiplayer would also be heresy. Me personally, I barely had the chance to play it because 1, my house did not have any internet for quite some time, and when we finally did get the internet, it was not the best internet, and also 2, I did not even know that playing multiplayer was possible. But that did not stop me from accidentally starting a multiplayer map and playing on a server by myself. Playing these multiplayer maps alone feels so weird. It's like that Source Engine feeling, except it's even worse somehow. Going on a multiplayer Halo CE map by myself makes me shit my pants. Let's continue my story. After exploring a couple of multiplayer maps while shitting my pants, someone actually joined the server. When I saw another Master Chief running around the map, I got so scared I used the power button to shut down the PC. After that incident, even slightly touching the multiplayer button felt traumatizing. I was scared for my life. I thought my game was haunted. Now listen, this was never supposed to be a long video, but I just could not stop writing. Halo is pretty much dead at this point. 343 Industries or Halo Studios or Buttsex 3000 or whatever their name is right now have no idea how to handle this franchise. Nowadays, people only talk about Halo to make fun of it, and I think that's sad considering the first 5 games in the franchise are absolute masterpieces. Let me know if you want me to make videos about these games as well. And as always, consider subscribing and liking, and I will see you in the next one.